What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the garage for my second trailer reaction today, and I haven't done them in forever, and I'm doing two on the same day. It's because it's Halloween, and I am stoked. My favorite holiday of the year, my favorite day of the year, October 31st. This will probably be out on November 1st-ish. But Steven Soderbergh, acclaimed filmmaker, just a great storyteller. I love the dude. Yes, he did the Oceans movies, 11, 12, 13, 15. I don't know how many he did, but they were all awesome heist films. He also did the Academy Award-winning film Traffic. He's recently become very interested, it seems like, from a filmmaking perspective in horror. A few years ago, he did a movie called Unsane that he filmed entirely on iPhones. He's also becoming very experimental. So what we have with his new film called Presence is a film told through the POV and through the perspective of a ghost. There's a ghost haunting this house, and we see everything through their lens. So, we know with A Violent Nature that came out earlier this year, which I was a big fan of, it did a similar shtick where it followed the slasher. It followed the Jason Voorhees-esque character as he was stalking his victims through the woods. The formula is always the same. The ingredients are always the same. So how can you mix it up a little bit when you're looking at it? To look at it from a different way. Let's watch the trailer together, and then I'll give you some quick thoughts at the end. And play. Neon. Already off to a great start. I love Neon.
What's it like?
What's what like?
Yeah, I know a lot of people have seen it because of the film festivals and stuff. My buddy, Next Best Picture there.
Scary.
I
And
love-
it goes on.
I love the ominous score. You hear that? Very eerie.
The world cracks apart. You fall into this hole. And the sides are mud, and you can't get out.
Gotta love that strings that came in there. Lucy Liu, of course.
You wonder where they are. And you wonder what it would be like if you were there too.
What's going on here? January 24th. Long live January cinema. Am I right? All right, well, look, I already talked about the concept. I think is cool. I think it's cool. I think more and more films are going to start to employ this tactic to give us a fresh take on a familiar story. Tropes in horror have been literally the same for decades. I'm a horror fan. I love it. I love trying to find them. I love reacting to them, expecting them almost, but still being surprised. Horror is a beautiful thing at being able to do that. But with movies like Presence, which is coming out here in January, and I mentioned In a Violent Nature previously, it's subverting what I expect, but still showing me what I expect. You know, In a Violent Nature, it did a really cool thing where we got to see, you know, the teenage victims. Normally in a Friday the 13th film, we see them having sex and like partying, and we see it from their angle, and they're making stupid decisions or whatever. But what about seeing that from afar through someone else's eyes and someone else's perception? And they do that very, very well in A Violent Nature, regardless of what you think of the pacing of that film or whatever. It's very artfully unique. And I think we're going to be looking at something similar here with Presence. And a director like Steven Soderbergh, a writer like David Cope, I think I'm excited. I think it's going to be, you know, coming out in January. I'm always a little worried when movies release in January, but we have a lot of good things actually on the horizon this January, seemingly. And Presence is another one of those. And it also makes me feel good that I know a lot of people, even people that I know in the film community, have seen it already at film festivals, Sundance, etc. And they raved about it. It has pretty good feedback thus far. I've heard that it moves a little slowly, but I would also kind of expect that. And that was also a critique of In Violent Nature too. slasher fans thought it moved kind of slowly. But at the same time, what do you think Jason's doing in between kills? You know, I mean, he's walking around, he's stalking, he's coming up with his plan, he's being, you know, whatever. And that was what was interesting to me. So in these haunted house movies, in these ghost movies, what are the ghosts doing when they're not having that paranormal moment where we're getting the jump scares and the house, you know, is doing all kinds of weird shit? What's the ghost doing, you know? And I find interest in that, and I'm excited to see what Soderbergh and the team does from that side of things. I love Lucy Liu. I think it looks good. I think it looks like an art house horror film that's going to give us something different from the haunted house subgenre. I'm excited about it. What do you guys think of the trailer, the first trailer there for Presence from Steven Soderbergh, coming out in January of next year? Let me know down below. I'll see you guys out here next time. Maybe something else horror. I don't know. It's Halloween. I'm going crazy. I'll be out here in the garage.